Hello and welcome to DC Velocity's Thought Leaders series. My name is Mark Solomon. I'm a senior editor at DC Velocity magazine. This Thought Leaders series is being produced in conjunction with MHI. I'm delighted to be joined today by Brent Beabout, who is Senior Vice President for Wal-Mart's e-commerce supply chain. His operating responsibility is basically all of Walmart.com and all of Sam's.com supply chain.
Correct.
Before Walmart, Brent held the position of Senior Vice President of Supply Chain at Office Depot, having operating responsibilities for all aspects of that retailer's supply chain. He's also held senior leadership roles at DHL Express and at Amazon.com. Brent, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let me start. We are around early to middle of October. We are moving into peak season. Mm-hmm. How are things looking on a macro level, and how are things looking for Walmart's e-commerce prospects for the holiday season?
Well, let's go first of the macro. I'll tell you what, the economy is looking a little bit better. Just the past week or so, we just had a report on employment picture. Looks like employment right now is less than 6%. Looks like people are back to work. And I think we're looking optimistically at a pretty good holiday season this year. We'll see how that turns out, but I think so far so good. On the Walmart side of the business, I'll tell you, we've been pretty excited about this holiday. Last year, we just passed about $10 billion in U.S. sales, and this year we're going to be approaching $13 billion in U.S. sales. So we're quickly becoming the number 2 player right now in the e-commerce market. We've got a lot of prep to do, obviously, for this holiday period, but I think we're off to a good start, and we're looking at a good finish this year.
Okay. You compete, obviously, with Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm.
They are we'll call it the 800-pound gorilla in the e-commerce room. How do you differentiate your part of the Walmart business, the supply chain, from Amazon's? How do you basically try to gain a competitive edge against a company like Amazon through the work you do?
Yep. Amazon's done a great job. I'm not going to kid you. They've been a big player, obviously, in e-commerce since the middle 90s, late 1990s. I think the difference between the two companies, the way Walmart's approaching e-commerce, is we have a massive amount of infrastructure when it comes to physical stores, trucking fleets, et cetera, that we can lever, that Amazon really either can't do easily or has trouble levering due to their physical size and the way they're constructed as far as their network design goes. I think we're going to win by being Walmart, essentially, and what that means is trying to put together the physical and the digital. That's what we're working on right now, to figure out how we do e-commerce with the physical assets in mind and leveraging those physical assets to give us a cost competition or cost leverage, if you will, against Amazon going forward. That's going to be different.
Will the Walmart stores become, if they already haven't, de facto DCs?
So good question. So right now we've been shipping from store for quite a few years. If you look at our website, for example, that we have pickup today, for example. We also have an option from customers who are online to be delivered to stores and pick up at stores at a future date, for example, 2 days from now. We've had that for quite a few years. I think the big difference is going to be us is how do we make that a seamless transaction? So not only do we now currently pick from our shelves in the stores and obviously package it up and get ready for the customer. What's going to happen in the future is we're going to be able to integrate the supply chain more with the back room of the stores and actually allow us to service customers better by having more inventory in the stores, better in-stock capability, and then obviously give them a better experience when they arrive at the store. That's happening right now, and I think over the next couple of years, for example, you're going to see a completely different customer experience when it comes to integrating stores with e-commerce.
Omnichannel retailing has disrupted virtually every supply chain. Again, putting your macro hat on, your observer hat on, have companies been able to get an arm around or their arms around omnichannel retailing? Is there a steep learning curve that they are struggling to climb?
That's a great question, and I think the answer is the proof's in the pudding. This one, people have had trouble doing this because it's hard. Trying to put together a great e-commerce offering, a website, and taking transactions by credit card, that's one skill set. Then obviously treating customers and stores is a whole different type of skill set. So most retailers have had trouble putting this together. I think, frankly, Walmart right now is probably better situated than almost any retailer out there to take advantage of that. We're really starting to put together the skill sets, the web experience, if you will, which just rolled out a new website about a month ago. the back end systems, et cetera, to make that a seamless experience for the customers, which is what omnichannel is. So customers can pick up any product anywhere at any time. I think we're going to be probably first to market on that. I'm looking forward to that down the road.
Is it harder for a company that has been steeped in the physical world to integrate the two products?
Absolutely. And obviously that's more about our human beings and change management. Right, at the end of the day, and one of the things I'm talking about at the conference here, at the MHA conference, is how hard change is for individuals, for people, for humans. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, that's what leadership needs to be recognize that and actually take advantage of that down the road to how you innovate and change people's mindset. I think every company is going to struggle with that as they go from a traditional retail or a traditional online to an omni-channel type of experience. But I think the company's leaders that recognize that the change management is probably the hardest thing to do of the entire omni-channel type of experience or change is going to be the thing we're going to lever or win going forward. One
of the themes of this conference is innovation, and the human element is a key component of the discussions here in San Diego. In your mind, what does innovation say to you in terms of how you do your job? What do you need to do to innovate and maximize your performance, your company's performance? Innovation's
probably an overused word. I think you and I talked about it a little earlier today. Yes. Overused word, but I tell you what, it is crucial, right? But it's overused. And frankly, the way I start thinking about that is, how do you turn around a 100,000-ton aircraft carrier, which is Wal-Mart, right? In some ways, that's difficult to do. That's kind of on the surface. But the way I think about changing things is a couple ways. One is I think about bringing a little bit of fresh blood in. Obviously, a little bit of fresh blood helps you think about problems in new and different ways. It doesn't need to be wholesale change, but obviously, some new thoughts is always a good method. The second thing, you got to think about organizational design. That whole thing of the way you've been doing business, the way you've been organized before, is probably not the way you want to do it before. And people start seeing that their job functions change a little bit, or the way they talk to people or collaborate has to change, and their jobs now require that. That really starts getting people's mindset around, we're doing something different. And that's something the leader can bring to the group, is that organizational design can help them move the company from where it used to be in the past to where it needs to go in the forward. Then obviously you need to talk about innovation also among everyone all the time. What do we think about doing differently? Always ask the questions as a leader about how the way we did things in the past may not be the way we want to do things going forward. Those things are kind of keeping thought leadership on change, on innovation at the front of people's minds. It goes a long way to getting people to think differently about doing business going forward. To conclude, let me ask you, can you give me an example of how you're innovating, what you are doing to change the game at Wal-Mart? That's a good example. So something just came out publicly actually a couple weeks ago. We just opened up what's called a delivery pickup for groceries in our Bentonville, Arkansas, near Bentonville, Arkansas headquarters. And what that is we found that people have been experimenting with grocery delivery, home grocery delivery for years, starting with Webvan around 2000. Obviously, Peapod, those folks have been around for a while. Obviously, we've been doing a lot of experimentation with Asda, which is our UK subsidiary, for quite a few years. But one thing we found is people don't necessarily want home delivery of groceries. They don't like the act of going inside a grocery store some days. They might be busy, they're going on the way home from work, going to pick up their kids at school. What people want is they want groceries ready to go, so as they pass somewhere, they can pick up the groceries. We just put a new drive-through concept in our Bentonville, Arkansas prototype. It just started about 3 weeks ago. Pretty massive demand right now. Obviously, internal right now to get our kinks worked out with internal Walmart folks. But the demand's been unprecedented. And the reason is we're able to pack up people's groceries, around 15,000 SKUs, get them ready to go. It's an all e-commerce experience. And as they go home for work that day, for example, they pull into a parking lot. There's an awning there. It recognizes your cell phone, says, oh, your order's ready to go. And within 3 to 5 minutes, your trunk of your car opens up, and we're putting deliveries in your trunk, and off you go. That's something that's innovative. It's relatively new here in the United States. Few people are starting to think about grocery delivery a little bit differently. I think Walmart's going to be at the edge of that. And that's what we're doing right now. Is a good example of innovation going forward. Okay. Brent, thanks for your time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.